Hello folks, this is Tim Fasano here. I want to talk to you about the Dr. Sykes Bigfoot hoax. It's a very clever hoax that this man has perpetrated on the world, if not the Bigfoot community as a whole. What he's done is he's used a false form of logic in how he's constrained this. As someone that has a degree in philosophy with an emphasis on epistemology, which is the systems of knowledge and logic, I think I'm more than qualified to speak on the issue. Dr. Sykes failed to use deductive reasoning in his analysis. Deductive reasoning takes general principles and moves to a more specific conclusion with the use of these general premises. Inductive reasoning goes in the opposite direction. It'll take something very specific and it'll bastardize it and take it into a more general principle, which is exactly what Dr. Sykes has done. Let me explain. If you were doing a flea study on dogs, you had 10,000 dogs that you examined, and all 10,000 of them, all of them had fleas. If you were a scientist, you could not conclude, believe it or not, you could not conclude that all dogs have fleas. That would be illogical, as Spock would say. All you could conclude is that those 10,000 dogs had fleas. You could even be more specific. You could examine only German Shepherds, but you could not apply that to other breeds because you have no knowledge of them. None of that is contained in the premise, so you could not include it in the conclusion, which regrettably is what Dr. Sykes has done. You could take 12 reindeer and throw them off the Empire State Building, and all 12 of them come crashing to the sidewalk. You still could not conclude that reindeer do not fly. You could only conclude that those 12 reindeer, for whatever reason on this occasion, chose not to fly and crashed into the sidewalk. You would still have to continue on because there's nothing about flying in your premise. You only have information about reindeer. Nothing to do with flying. You can take a bucket of water out of the ocean and measure its plankton and go back to the same spot a year later and pull a bucket of water out and measure the plankton again. And if it's gone up or down, you could conclude falsely that that's a result of global environmental change, global warming, this type of thing. But you have no evidence to support that because it's not in the premise. All you've been able to do is measure how much plankton is in a bucket of water. And that's the only place you could go with that. See, this is inductive reasoning is very clever, and many scientists fall into that trap. And it's hard to spot it. And this is what's at the heart of a lot of these fake studies. Let me explain what Dr. Sykes did. He took 30 samples from Europe, but he's supposed to be doing a study on the North American Sasquatch. But he took all 30 samples from Europe. So imagine Professor Tim is at a chalkboard. So I write premise, underscore, and we write hair samples, and we have bear, squirrel, raccoon. Conclusion, underscore. Conclusion, underscore, is, if you're doing science, is that in Europe you have bears, raccoons, and squirrels. It's the only thing you can conclude. Nowhere in the premise is there a mention of anomalous primate. So what Dr. Sykes did is he concluded not only, he didn't conclude there was an anomalous primate, he said that the existence of bears, squirrels, and raccoons meant that there was no anomalous primate in Europe. Do you see how illogical that is? You see, now take a good look at this man who was doing essentially science through press conference. I saw him on National Geographic, talking all about DNA, talking about Bigfoot. It's the one with Justin Smenger was on. And all the news reports, press conferences, so forth. I kind of think he made some money on this. And I think he was out to try to embarrass the Bigfoot community, but all he's done is embarrass himself. Because I'm not a trained scientist, but I'm smart enough to know that the integrity of his methodology is wrong. And it had to have been deliberate. Because say what you want about Dr. Sykes, he's not stupid. He's very brilliant. So for him to introduce inductive reasoning into an arena where there's no place for it, Dr. Sykes, I can only conclude not only you a hoaxer, But you're a liar! You think everybody's a fool! I think your peers should rip you to shreds and examine whatever paper it is you wrote. How idiotic. 30 samples taken in Europe. All you proved is that there's bears. You know what? We already knew there were bears. Come back with some evidence for Sasquatch.